We are going to go ahead and take a look at some rather strange videos from content creators that I do watch. Now, when it comes to YouTube, I actually don't enjoy watching YouTube. There are a select few content creators on YouTube that I do watch out of respect that they watch my videos as well, and these content creators actually do have good content. But when it comes to YouTube, I just don't enjoy YouTube. Some of these videos are just way too long, 20, 30, 40 minutes long, and I don't have the attention span. Like, I'll be 5 minutes into a 30-minute video and I'll click off and I feel bad because I'm ruining that individual's average view duration, which ultimately hurts them in the algorithm. So that's why I mainly stick to TikTok, Twitter, and even Reddit. One of the individuals that I really enjoy on TikTok, he goes by Moon Henry, and he covers a lot of strange real world events, and he's been noticing some very strange weather lately, including what's been going on in Spain. There's all this hail in Spain.
Are there still people out there looking at this weather thinking that everything is normal? By the way, it's flooding more and not in Spain this time. Look how big the hail is that came down in Cyprus. Y'all, this is not freaking normal. I can't even with the people who say this stuff is normal. And like I said before, this is not in Spain this time. I'm about to show you what Spain looks like now. This is in Israel. It's kind of weird how all this weather is breaking out the way it is. And at the same exact time of all the flooding and all the hail, it's snowing in Saudi Arabia. At the same time. And people are just like, oh, it's normal. And Spain is absolutely destroyed. This is so sad. And remember, they just saw that devil's comet in the sky the night before or while it was going on. Again, randomly. And bonus, this weird band popped up in 2022 November 5th, right? We are now starting to see the exact same thing, wild to say the least.
This video is so true. It's just flooding everywhere, and there's very strange weather events happening all over the place and happening around the same time. And I didn't know that it was currently also flooding in Israel, but reading this article from MSN.com, and they're showing us this video, heavy rain causes flooding in North Israel. This is the only article that I can find about these North Israel floods, and it's making me wonder, are a lot of other places around the world currently facing some bizarre weather patterns or even flooding, and is just being kept from the news? Now, talking about strange weather events and manipulation, North Carolina is still actually feeling the effects of Hurricane Helene. Is still flooded in North Carolina, and residents in North Carolina are noticing that the floodwaters, the waters, are doing something rather bizarre. And this video comes from Conscious Jews.
So let me give you an update on what's going on with North Carolina, because the media isn't doing this. Hi, welcome to my news channel. I go by Conscious Juice. Do you see this brown, dirty, murky water over here, y'all? They found out that the rivers in North Carolina is flowing in the opposite direction, and they are finding these strange geometric shapes on top of the water, these frequency lines. Y'all see what I'm saying? Y'all see these?
What does that mean? I don't know. I'm hoping someone's going to explain it. So which way did the river used to go? Going that direction. Whoa. You want to walk down here and you can really see it's changed direction. It's odd.
Not only that, there is also a toxic aroma in the air and also in the mud, so powerful that is literally disintegrating boots. The theory is it's actually the lithium mixed with the cadaver bacteria that's actually disintegrating the boot.
The mud is so toxic, it's disintegrating the boots of people trying to clean up. So we have a real problem in our river that was the purest and cleanest water in the world is now completely toxic and disintegrating people's boots. Yeah, it's bad. We're in a very bad situation. And they're having nosebleeds and coughing up blood. So anybody near these things is in serious trouble.
Where do all these toxins come from?
So the mud is toxic, the air is toxic, but the media is not talking about this to warn people to tell them to stop going to North Carolina. And if you've been on TikTok lately, you've been seeing people going to North Carolina to help people out. Do y'all believe something new could arise from this, y'all? Because this is how disease, sickness, and viruses start. And the lack of coverage on the part of the media on this, y'all, astounding. If they were looking for an award, they definitely got it. But I'm just letting y'all know what's going on with North Carolina. So let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comments below. Let's continue to get this shift, y'all. Peace out.
Talking about North Carolina and this horrible smell, I made a video not too long ago how residents in Oregon were experiencing a very odd smell as well. They were comparing it to sulfur and rotten eggs. Now, what's interesting, we are hearing a lot about lithium in the news. When it comes to North Carolina, there is a lot of lithium underground in certain parts where this hurricane had hit the most. But in Portland, Oregon, there were a lot of bizarre lithium explosions going on, and around the same time, people are experiencing this very strange smell that they cannot account for. They send in the police, they send in firemen, and nobody can find where the smell is coming from.
Thousands of people watching would like to know what that smell was. Now, this smell really started yesterday evening, right around 6 o'clock. We're almost 24 hours past, and a lot of people throughout the metro area and throughout Southwest Washington were complaining about this, but officials still have no idea where it came from or what the smell was. When something smells a little off, you can usually find the source. But what people were smelling Tuesday night was something different.
It was almost had more of an ammonia smell to it than just paper mill sludge. And it just got stronger and stronger. And we had to close all the windows in our house.
There were reports of people smelling a strange smell outdoors from as far north as Kelso.
It was some kind of decaying organic material.
All the way down to Wilsonville, some nearly 50 miles away. There were lots of theories about what it could have been, from gases coming from Mount St. Helens.
Anytime you have a rotten egg smell, you have two choices. In the Pacific Northwest, number one is outgassing from a volcano, and it's very, very common. And the only active vent from a volcano that we have around us is Mount St. Helens.
That was quickly discounted by officials. Portland Fire and Rescue went on nearly a dozen calls about the smell.
Rolled the window down and drove around with their sniffers out, but weren't able to really find or detect a cause. You know, it was noted that there was a scent in the air, but no definitive source.
Rick Gray is with Portland Fire and Rescue said his crews use these gas monitors.
And it gives us an alert if there is concentrations of concern.
And everything came back normal. The most calls came from Southwest Washington in Cowlitz County, where Fire Chief Vic Letzow chased down as many possible scenarios as possible.
We've worked with the pipelines, be it Williams, Cascade, KB. We've been working with the industrial folks, be it Weyerhaeuser, Nippon, Dyno Noble, Lanxess, U.S. Coast Guard.
Now the mystery smell seems mostly gone, but the question as to where it came from remains unanswered.
And now it seems like it's happening in California, where residents in California are also experiencing this very horrible smell, which they are comparing it to sulfur and rotten eggs. But when it comes to California, people are saying that this could be a precursor, the smell could be a precursor to a massive earthquake.
Apparently, Los Angeles has been stinking. People saying it has been smelling like rotten eggs or the smell of sulfur, dead fish, all kinds of things, and nobody is bringing awareness to them.
Los Angeles stinks right now, okay? And I mean that very literally. It stinks. And nobody's talking about this. On the west side and Santa Monica, it smells like dead fish all over. And I keep searching.
Now, I believe this is also tied to why Los Angeles has been foggy as of late, because the smell came around the same time the fog came. Were you guys aware that a mud eruption took place in California just a few days ago, y'all? This is like the mud floods coming back, y'all. This is what has been smelling like sulfur. This is coming deep underground from the earth, y'all, like the mud floods. Y'all see this? So there has been mud explosions in Los Angeles and nobody's talking about it. Nobody really knows what's going on. This is happening in the hills of California. And this is why it's extremely foggy in Los Angeles, as well as why it smells like rotten eggs and dead fish and all that stuff. So the air in Los Angeles right now is mostly methane, amongst other things. But yeah, did y'all know this was going on? And what do y'all think about this, y'all? Because again, this is in Los Angeles. Let me know if that makes sense to y'all. And let's continue to get this shift. Share this video. Peace out.
This next video comes from the Trumpet Ezekiel. Now, I have been talking about the Vatican in a number of videos so far, especially the Lucy the Lightbringer, the Lucy mascot, which the Vatican is using to basically guide young children, young adults into the church. This individual, the Trumpet Ezekiel, has a rather interesting video when it comes to the Vatican and this upcoming Jubilee, which they host every 25 years.
Of Lucifer underneath the altar in the center of St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican? It sure is. And that's next on the trumpet. The map of the Vatican Narcopolis tells you that he's in Unit U right there at the bottom of the page. This one. That's right there. Right there under the floor of St. Peter's Basilica. Right underneath the main dome. These layers are all built under the current altar inside that church. An artist's rendition of the red wall. Notice that it's made out of brick right there. You know, like the Tower of Babel. Like no way that has a skylight. I don't know if it's a skylight, but it goes through the floor. Totally got a dragon on it. Now, this is their website, and they're the ones with all the really cool pictures of this, but they're the ones that listed him being in U. Even their own pictures tell you that that's where St. Peter is. Right there, by the red wall. After all the excavations underneath St. Peter's Basilica, no one knows if Peter is buried there. The Bible doesn't even mention him going to Rome. So you can see that the Pope and the cardinals, they don't even know if he's there. Remember that this is all underground under the current altar. That altar right there and those column bases right there with the little dragons on them. I'm going to do a part 2 and tell you who put this box of bones down there. And you can still go right down those steps on the other side of the bronze gate. Like right down there to the red wall. It's going to be right there. And that guy right there is the one that buried him there.
This is a rather interesting video because it really makes me wonder what is truly underground. And if all these very important places that have a lot of energy are built on top of something, for instance, like CERN. CERN supposedly sits on top of the Temple of Apollo, and apparently it seems like the Vatican sits on top of something else. What does Washington, D.C. sit on top of? What does the White House sit on top of? We do know there are a lot of underground tunnels, especially in New York City, which I've covered before. And then the Denver airport, there are skyscrapers under the Denver airport, which they say were abandoned. But it really makes you wonder, is there an entire city or something else under the Denver airport? It's a very interesting thought. This last video is going to come from the Dammit Man. Now, I've referenced the Dammit Man once before in another video, and he actually makes a rather interesting point with this video. He says, what if TikTok is the emergency alert system?
Is the emergency broadcast system. Now hear me out. Now instead of a government alert blaring across all electronic devices, your TVs, your cell phones, yada yada, what if they're using this app to subtly condition the public for strange and unprecedented events? I mean, think about it. Think about all the viral trends, all the weird shit that's even happened this week. Yesterday, there was a UFO that crashed over Washington, D.C., supposedly. The Northern Lights were seen as far as the Gulf of Mexico. When has that ever happened? What the freak is going on? That's what you hear people say on TikTok all the time. We are living in unprecedented times. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Why would they do this, though? Why would the government use TikTok to inform the public? The same reason that they would not tell us until the last minute that an asteroid was heading for the Earth with no chance of survival. Is to prevent panic, because we are panicky people. By using this app's rapid shareable format, they could drip feed bizarre information and prepare people for the weirdness of what's coming, because they know what's coming. It could be UFO sightings, it could be government disclosures. A couple months ago, St. Louis was preparing for a disaster for an 8.3 earthquake on the New Madrid Fault. And suddenly, all of this is becoming normal. It's becoming normal for these things to show up on our feeds day in, day out. So then one day, it's all going to happen and everybody's going to be like, oh yeah, I saw that on TikTok. I know about that. That's how they condition you. And this also goes for theories about alternate realities. So all these things you see aren't just random content that you just scroll through, you just happen upon, but it's part of a grander strategy to prepare us for what's coming. And also, if the public isn't ready for something, if they're not ready for the public to know about it, boy, they sure do pull that information off here quick, don't they? And TikTok, this is just for entertainment purposes only, right? Right. Damn it, man.
The Damn It Man really raises a really good point. A lot of firsts we see come from TikTok. And when that Washington, D.C. crash happened, that supposed crash, we heard it straight from TikTok first. And we were all saying, why is nobody else talking about it? Why is the news not talking about it? Twitter, Reddit, they all jumped on it because of TikTok. YouTube eventually had gotten the story because of TikTok. And a lot of these bizarre stories come straight from TikTok. And are they using TikTok to condition us for what is indeed coming? It's a really, really good point. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.